Hello and welcome to Daily Prelims Practice. Here we are going to take up the MCQs based on today's newspaper of The Hindu and Indian Express, which are important from UPSC prelims exam perspective. The topics for today's discussion are listed on your screen. So let us start the discussion. The first question of today's discussion is based on this news which has appeared on page number 8 in The Hindu. It talks about the audit report of CAG on Assam's NRC. And this report has highlighted serious irregularities in the NRC exercise which is to be carried out in Assam. It also highlighted the serious issues with the software development which makes it prone for the data tampering. As NRC is directly related with the citizenship status of people residing in Assam, this area becomes important for our discussion. And in the prelims syllabus of UPSC, you can find out that in the polity section, UPSC has specifically mentioned about the rights issues. And you must be aware that citizenship status provides multiple rights to the citizens. And in the year 2021, UPSC has asked a question on citizenship. And it says, with reference to India, consider the following statements. In this question, you are being given 3 statements. And out of these 3, you have to identify the correct statements. You can pause this video and try to solve this question. We have framed one practice MCQ on NRC, which is National Register of Citizens, and it says, with reference to NRC, consider the following statements. In this question, you have to identify the correct statements. The first statement says, the only time that NRC prepared was in 1951 after the conduct of census of India. It is a correct statement. It is a correct statement as NRC is a register containing the names of Indian citizens, and NRC was first prepared in 1951 in Assam to identify those who are born in India or migrants from erstwhile East Pakistan, which is now known as Bangladesh. Hence, this statement is correct. The second statement says it included those who could establish their Indian citizenship by being residents or descendants of people living in Assam before March 25, 1951. It is an incorrect statement. If you are regularly following the current events, you must be aware that the deadline which is given is March 25, 1971. Hence, this statement becomes incorrect. As you have to identify the correct statements, the answer to this question becomes A, which is 1 only. And the answer to the previous year question is also A, which is 1 only, as a citizen by birth or naturalized citizen can become the head of state, which is the president. So this statement becomes incorrect. And the third statement says a foreigner once granted the citizenship cannot be deprived of it under any circumstances. You can eliminate this extreme statement by using your common sense. So this statement also becomes incorrect and the answer becomes 1 only. Moving on to the next question, which is based on this news which has appeared on page number 10 in The Hindu. It basically talks about the Mullaperiyar Dam, which has become a point of contention between Tamil Nadu and Kerala. The context of this news is not very important as far as our pre is concerned. But you must be aware about the key facts associated with this particular dam, as it has been in news since a very long time. In the year 2019, UPSC has asked a question on glaciers and the rivers associated with them. In this question, you are being given 5 pairs and you need to identify the correct pairs. On the similar lines, we have designed one practice MCQ on Mullaperiyar Dam. The first statement says, Mullaperiyar Dam is an embankment dam on the Periyar River. The second statement says, Mullaperiyar Dam is located in the state of Tamil Nadu. In this question, you have to identify the correct statements. The first statement is incorrect as Mullaperiyar Dam is not an embankment dam but a gravity dam and it is built on Periyar River. So this statement becomes incorrect. Now you must be curious that what this gravity dam is. A gravity dam is a dam constructed from concrete or stone and it is designed to hold the water by using only the weight of the material. Try to remember this particular information. The second statement is again incorrect as Mullaperiyar Dam is located in the state of Kerala and not in Tamil Nadu. And the answer to this question becomes D, which is neither 1 nor 2. Further, you must be aware that it is a dam built on the confluence of Periyar River and its tributary, which is known as Mullayar River. And it is situated on the Cardamom Hills of Western Ghats in the Idukki district of Kerala. Now, why this dam is continuously in news? Because it is a dam situated in Kerala, but operated and maintained by the neighboring state of Tamil Nadu. Just keep a tab on such news article. And the answer to the previous year question is A, which is 1, 2 and 4. The next question of today's discussion is based on this news which has appeared on page number 17 in Indian Express. This news article says RBI has asked the banks to closely monitor the restructured assets. Now, why this call has been given by RBI to the banks? Because due to the uncertainties of macroeconomic scenarios across the world, RBI is taking a proactive stand and asks the banks to keep a close watch on slippage in the restructured assets. As RBI is an important institution which helps in regulating the Indian economy, and this area becomes important for our discussion. And UPSC has previously asked many questions on RBI and the functions it plays in Indian economy. Before solving the practice MCQ, have a look at this question which has appeared in the year 2022, and it says, with reference to Indian economy, consider the following statements. In this question, you have to identify the correct statements. You can pause this video and try to solve this question. On the similar lines, we have designed one practice MCQ on Reserve Bank of India, and it says, with reference to RBI, consider the following statements. The first statement says, Trend and Progress of Banking Report is annually released by RBI. The second statement says, Prompt Corrective Action Framework applies to all banks operating in India, including the small finance banks. The third statement says, Startup sector has been granted priority sector lending status by RBI. Out of these three statements, you have to identify the correct statements. The first statement is correct, as Trends and Progress of Banking Report is annually released by RBI and it provides the information about the performance of banking sector. This also includes NBFCs and cooperative banks. So this statement becomes correct. The second statement is incorrect, as Prompt Corrective Action Framework is not applicable to small finance banks and payment banks. The third statement is correct, as in the year 2020, RBI has brought startups in the country under the purview of priority sector lending norms. So this statement becomes correct. As you have to identify the correct statements, the answer to this question becomes B, which is 1 and 3 only. And the answer to the previous year question is also B, which is 2 and 3 only. For more detailed information on RBI and its functions, you can refer to the official website of RBI. Moving on to the next question, which is based on this news which has appeared on page number 1 in The Hindu. It is a pictographic news and it highlights the power of faith in the river Ganga. As you all are aware that large number of devotees worship the river Ganga every year on multiple occasions. As rivers and water bodies are an important theme in UPSC prelims exam, this area becomes important for our exam preparation. In your prelims exam syllabus, UPSC has specifically mentioned about the physical geography of India, and the physical geography includes mountains, rivers, deserts, volcanoes, and so on. So you must be aware about the key facts associated with the rivers, such as their tributaries, the states from which they are passing, and the dams which are built on them. As you can see, in the year 2015, UPSC has asked about the tributaries of Godavari River. In this question, you are being given 4 options and you need to identify the correct one. On the similar lines, we have designed one practice MCQ which says, which among the following rivers are the left bank tributaries of river Ganga? In this, you have to identify the correct answer. The first option is Damodar, second is Son, third is Mahananda, fourth is Bhagmati, and fifth is Kosi. If you are not aware which tributaries are left bank or right bank, you can solve this question by common sense. As many of you might be aware that Son and Damodar are on the right side of river Ganga, this can help you in reaching the answer. As Damodar and Son are the right bank tributaries, you can eliminate 1 and 2 from the given options and you can reach your answer. The answer to this question is C, which is 3, 4 and 5. And the answer to the previous year question is D, which is 2 and 3 only. UPSC every year asks at least one question on river or water bodies of India. So whenever you come across such news, try to go into detailed information about that particular river. Moving on to the next question, which is based on this news, which has appeared on page number 14 in The Hindu. It basically talks about the free trade agreement between India and Australia, which will help the garment industry of India, as Australia is the largest importer of garments in the southern hemisphere. As free trade agreement and the bilateral trade between India and the other countries is an important and recurring theme in the UPSC prelims exam, this area becomes important for our discussion. Before moving on to the practice MCQ, have a look at this question which has appeared in the year 2020. In this, UPSC has specifically asked about the trade relations between India and its neighboring countries. In this question, you are being given 3 statements, and out of these 3, you have to identify the correct one. The practice question which we have designed says that consider the following statements. In this question, you have to identify the correct statements. The first statement says, India-Australia Free Trade Agreement came into force in April 2022. The second statement says, the Australia-India Business Exchange is the Australian government's flagship trade and investment promotion program for India. The third statement says, India and Australia has signed a civil nuclear deal in the year 2020. The first statement is incorrect. If you are following the newspapers regularly, you must be aware that India-Australia signed a free trade agreement in April 2022 and it will come into force on 29 December 2022, which is tomorrow. So this statement becomes incorrect. The second statement is correct, as Australian government has launched this exchange program which will facilitate the trade and investment between two countries. The third statement is again incorrect, as India and Australia has signed a civil nuclear deal back in 2014 and not in 2020. So this statement becomes incorrect. And the answer to this question becomes B, which is 2 only. And the answer to the previous year question is also B, which is 2 only. You can solve this PYQ with elimination technique, as the first statement says the value of Indo-Sri Lanka trade has consistently increased in the last decade. Such statements are generally wrong, so this is incorrect. And the last statement says in the last 5 years, Nepal has been the largest trading partner of India in South Asia. Nepal is a very small country, so it cannot be the largest trading partner of India. This statement again becomes incorrect. So the answer to this question becomes 2 only. Just try to apply your common sense while giving exams when you come across such factual questions, as it might be difficult for you to keep a tab on minute facts which can be asked in the UPSC prelims exam. Moving on to the last question of today's discussion, which is based on this news which has appeared on page number 12 in Indian Express. It basically talks about the climate crisis which the whole world is facing, and it results into erratic rainfall, droughts, floods across the countries in the world. The focus of this article is on solar geoengineering techniques as a response to the climate crisis, as the geoengineering techniques are important in tackling the climate crisis. You all must be aware about the nitty-gritties of this technique. UPSC has previously asked many questions directly on such techniques. As you can see, in the year 2019, UPSC has asked a question on cloud thinning technique. In this, you have to identify the correct option. Now, based on the news article, we have framed one practice MCQ which says, which of the following are the solar geoengineering techniques? In this question, you are being given 4 options and you need to identify which of the following are the solar geoengineering techniques. The first one is stratospheric aerosol injection. The second option is cirrus cloud thinning. The third option is space sunshades. And the fourth option is ocean fertilization. In stratospheric aerosol injection, small and reflective particles are being introduced in the upper atmosphere to reflect the sunlight before it reaches to the surface of Earth. Hence, it is a correct option. Now, cloud thinning technique is a very famous method which allows the heat to escape into the space. It is also a correct option. The third option is space sunshades. It helps in blocking a small proportion of sunlight before it reaches the Earth. It is also a correct option. And the fourth one, which is ocean fertilization, it is not a part of geoengineering technique. Hence, the correct answer to this question is C, which is 1, 2 and 3 only. And the answer to the previous year question is D, as the cloud thinning technique helps in reducing the global warming.